Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we welcome you to the Herald Sun Arena for the most prestigious of events for our equestrians, of course, our time-honoured Garryowen. As I mentioned a little earlier on today, we have 37 competitors, of which 10 of them will be competing for the Garryowen for the very, very first time. I'm going to be joined by a couple of past winners, in Linda Hayes and Sarah Love, who will be joining me up here in the commentary box, and I'm sure the girls have got plenty to offer in relation to what transpires out there, perhaps what's going through the girls' minds. We won't be talking about workouts. We won't be talking about how their scores are going. And the only time you'll be finding out about scores will be when we will be announcing the winner at our presentation. So everything is being held in abeyance to keep that little element of excitement. Welcome, ladies, as I am about to talk a little bit about Violet Murrell for those people out there who aren't familiar with the name Violet Murrell. And if you've been under a rock somewhere and not involved in the equestrian world, I can probably anticipate that you don't know a lot about the story of Violet Murrell. But for those of us in the equestrian world, Sarah Love, good morning to you.
Good morning, Rob.
Did you get excited this morning?
Oh, especially when I was in bed at 8 o'clock and listening to all the cars, excuse me, leave the motel at 4 o'clock this morning. I was very excited.
Okay, knowing full well I don't have to get up and get prepared.
Oh, thank goodness for that. I'm too old for it, been there. But, oh, look, the girls are all excited. It's a terrific day, unlike yesterday. Linda, welcome.
Well, welcome to you. What's the feeling like not being out there?
I don't know. I haven't processed it yet. I was disappointed that my horse couldn't make it, but in the same token, the honour to come up here and still be part of it is wonderful. I know the girls, I walked through the stables this morning, they were all extremely excited. All little mishaps that go on the day, but hopefully all goes well and they've got the sun shining.
It is a little bit like that, isn't it? Mishaps. There'll be staff. When I say staff, it'll be families and friends running around frantically trying to get things in order. Let me introduce our judges to you. And our confirmation judge is Rowan Luxmore from Victoria. Our mount today will be judged by Jane Gardner from New South Wales. Our riding judge is Lindy Sutton from Victoria. General appearance is Sally Laurie from South Australia. Saddlery will be judged by Lisa Kellock from Victoria. And our costume, Christine Mellinson from Victoria. We're going to take you on a journey through all those attributes as to the final points tally. Our first lady out this morning is Bryony Randall, or formerly known as Bryony Payne to many of us, who's aboard a horse called Entourage. Bryony, of course, from Pakenham South. Entourage is a former thoroughbred. Well, he is a thoroughbred. He's not a former thoroughbred. He's 6 years of age. And am I allowed to say how old our female opponents are, or our female girls are? Are we allowed to give girls what? Ask you so we can. Okay, well, you can say, Linda.
I'll do it. Bryony's 29, and Bryony was at Brisbane Royal 12 months ago and spotted this horse on their lead thoroughbred day. As he walked up onto the arena, Bryony looked up and said, "That's it, I need this horse." She got this horse. So nearly 12 months to the day this pair have been together. They did a circuit called the Wimmera, where they do 6 shows in 6 days, and the horse had never seen a show. So we'd watch Bryony get on, and it was like an 8-second ride. She stayed on and all went well from there, and look where they are now. And they've had a very, very successful partnership at the moment.
Well, I was talking to a friend of mine from Queensland yesterday, Julie Mitchell, whom I think many of you know, and Julie is in the same boat. She spotted a lovely grey horse up there off the track some time back and said, yes, he's going to belong to me, and she's lucky enough to get him. And it's interesting how a lot of our horses find their owners and find new homes. She's been competing in the Garryowen 4 times, and let me tell you a little bit about Bryony. In relation to her successes, she's had a wonderful 2015, and it was a great story that you shared with us there just for a moment, Linda. Of course, she saw him up there at the Ekka at Brisbane and fell in love with him up there as well too. The story of Violet Murrell, a very successful equestrian at country race meetings in a season during the mid-1920s. She won 17 events from 19 starts. That in itself is just absolutely incredible. Apart from racing, she competed in country shows, gymkhanas, show jumping, steeplechasing, point-to-points, hunting, and also hacking as well. She was also deemed by her peers to be the top female equestrian of her time. She raced at Flemington, Caulfield, Moonee Valley, Mentone, Epsom, and we did race actually at Williamstown. In 1929, a gentleman by the name of William Jones, a vet, an owner of a horse exporting business, gave Garryowen to her and commented that he selected this particular horse as he appeared to be very special and would be perfect for Violet. The rest, I think we know, is embedded in history. Well, we wish all our girls good luck today as they try to emulate. We've got a few past winners out there, girls, too, today, of course. It'll be interesting to find out. We've got Casey downstairs. She'll be having a little chat with a couple of our equestrians as they finish their workout. And I'm just wondering how the nerves will be for our first years this year. And our more experienced riders, I dare say they'd be buzzing too, Sarah.
Oh, look, everybody's just extremely excited. And this year we have 10 first-year competitors, which is terrific. The event's certainly growing, Linda, isn't it? We had, I think, 55 entries this year, which is terrific.
I think the event is just getting better and better. I think the tradition and the girls are starting to realise that we haven't got a lot of things in our horse world that last forever, and it's one of the events. Like Sarah and I have both been lucky enough to win a lot of things in our riding career, but with this, if my mum ever went back to her tea group and said my daughter got a place in the Garryowen, the tea group knew exactly what we were talking about. And then to have the honour and the prestige of winning it, my mum was like queen for a day. She wore the garland, she took the sash, and she's gone into absolute royalty status with all of her friends at her tea group. So well done.
I'm going to ask you to share with me in a few moments' time because we have seen some magnificent garlands presented this year at Royal Melbourne Show. And the garland for the Garryowen this year is absolutely brilliant. And I know you've got a little photo on your camera there as well, but adorned in all the glitterati of it, if I may say. Of course, it's white gardenias, of course, which is synonymous with the Garryowen. But there's a little brooch in there. There's a 1934 penny. And did you tell me there were 6 of them in there, or was there only 6 that she spotted?
No, there's 6 pennies in there, which Philippa has resourced, I don't know where, but it's just amazing. She's also got an emerald cut brooch in the centre of the garland. And then just to do the garland up, she's had a handmade leather strap made up to clip onto the horse with coupling that can make it shorter or longer. The backing on the garland has been sewn twice, and the backing is as beautiful as the front. She's got little birds, I think they're ceramic or maybe metal, little birds in there, and gardenias and flowers that you touch that actually feel real, and there's the 6 pennies. And looking at it, every time you look at it, you see something so different. I mean, I want to go back in this event to win the garland now. It's like game on. It's just beautiful.
Well, actually, my daughter went down and had a look at it the other day, and she said, Dad, you're not going to believe. She said, there's a 1934 penny in there. And I'm thinking, well, I was just saying to Philippa beforehand, did you see any 1930 pennies when you went to the coin collectors? Because they're the ones that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So she was close to it. She's only 4 years out.
Well, the 1934 actually is the year that the Garryowen started. So that's where the history comes into the garland, and that's where I think Philippa has gone above and beyond to study the history, and again the leather strap coming in with the hunting. She's just, it's a magnificent piece.
Now, talking of the hunting, Sarah, because the costumes that our riders are wearing out here today originated back, not before our time, but it was a fair way back in the 16th to the 1700s, and it was virtually a men's fashion scenario. And we've gone on from there, but we'll describe a little bit more about that as our horses go through their classes with their riders in a few moments' time. First horse to work out.
Briny Payne and Entourage.
Well, our first competitor to work out is Bryony Payne, or Bryony Randall, as we now know her, aboard her horse Entourage. Well, the first of our workouts, Bryony Payne. Linda, I'm going to bring you in here just for a moment before our next rider joins us in the arena, which will be Sherry Lee aboard Tonic. Just having a little look and a listen to you girls talking amongst yourselves up here, which we can't share with the public, but I'd love to. But we've got to have a little bit of decorum. Now, tell me a little bit about breathing down there at the moment. You were talking about Bryony. Now she can take a deep breath. I mean, if you get tense, it comes through the reins, it comes into the horse, and it is about breathing, really, isn't it?
Definitely. I've spoken to the girls before about this. It's no good going out there in your beautiful gear and everything brand new and you don't ride the horse. So my words were always ride like the wind. And I think once you get that second canter lead, I myself would be sitting up and you would see my chest expand and I would just relax and go, right, we're done. Let's just enjoy this now. I think the first half you don't remember, but the second half, once you've got your canter strike-offs, it's all good and it's all relaxed. So it's a great thing.
Well, the Lee family have been represented here at the Melbourne Show for many, many years, and there's quite a few of them, actually. Cherie is 26 years of age. She's from Whittlesea. She's a final year chiropractic student. The horse's name is Tonic, a thoroughbred, 12 years of age. And probably when we look at horses of saying 12 years of age, for those of you sitting in the crowd, that's about when a horse really reaches its peak from a show jumping perspective and also from a hack perspective. Quite often, the horses, once they reach that double figure, they become really more or less at their prime. She's been riding since she could walk, and she's been at a Royal Melbourne Show on 20 occasions. Well, time for us to go down to ground level, and let's catch up with Casey Bruce as she just finds out what Bryony's thoughts are in relation to being the first rider out.
Well, Bryony, you happened to be first cab off the rank. You weren't able the other day to get to our Garryowen High Tea to draw that yourself. How did it feel to know that you were going to be the first one out there this morning?
I was going to kill my mother, to be honest. I did not want to be first, but anyway, someone has to go first, so...
And look, in all honesty, setting the bar for the other riders, and you certainly did that. Did your workout and everything go according to plan for you out there?
Yeah, absolutely thrilled with him. He's only a young horse, only been going 12 months. So after our little mishap in Champion Hack yesterday, I was a bit nervy, but no, he was great.
We can actually speak about that now because what we can talk about has absolutely no reflection on your score because our judges and everything have written down your score. This bloke has had an amazing, or should I say an unbelievable season for you thus so far, winning lots of events. Did you think he'd hit the heights so early in his career?
No, because he was a little bit tricky first when we first got him, so it took a lot of work. And, he was a bit green last year at the big shows, Canberra and Sydney, so I just put in a lot of hours, a lot of training over winter to really get him strong and fit and pump the education into him, and it's paid off.
Well, paid off that it has, and let's hope that you can add a Garryowen to the other things that you've won out here already, including a Pope Cup. Congratulations, Bryony.
Thanks, Case. Yes, good luck as we head towards our next competitor from the Lee family, Cherie Lee, out in her workout as we speak at the moment. She's had a wonderful career, this young lady. She's been involved in novelty racing, hack riding. She's been a champion rider. She's had some wonderful results over a period of time. And Tonic himself, a retired racehorse, had 18 starts for just 1/3 and a bit of prize money, under $2,000. So he was no star on the racetrack, but in her eyes, he's a star in the show ring. Actually, the interesting story about this fellow here, Cherie purchased Tonic as a Christmas present and has enjoyed numerous successes in their short time together. Cherie Lee, our second competitor here in the Garryowen of 2015. Our third rider to come out will be the first of our first-year competitors, and Melissa Gillies, aboard a horse called My Learned Friend, New Zealand horse. Melissa is 44 years of age. She's a barrister. And this is a warm blood. First time here as a Garryowen competitor. She's been involved in dressage, show jumping over a period of time. Has travelled virtually the length and breadth of Australia in the show circuit, which I think we're all guilty of doing. She came to riding a little bit later in life, according to her. Has been showing for the last 5 years. Horse that she refers to as Tiki came to her via New Zealand and was a successful show horse over there and dressage horse before she obtained him. The horse was also part of the Paralympic squad at the London Olympics as well too. So this fellow, looking at him as a real gentleman. So we wish them good luck. Melissa Gillies, aboard My Learned Friend. Well, Cherie Lee and Tonic have completed their workouts, and Melissa Gillies now completing her workout. The big chestnut, striking horse. Having a look out there, Sarah, at the moment, conditions today, probably at the best we've had for many years. We've copped wind, we've copped rain, we've copped all sorts of things. Our horses should be working at their best today.
I know, it's absolutely, it's perfect conditions today. Most of these horses really have never seen a dressage arena like this, and it can be extremely spooky with the greenery in the corners. You can see the photographers up the top end. The judges on the edges. And so far they're coping very well because it's quite an unusual situation that they're put in.
Our next competitor to work out is Georgie Kellock, another one of our first years. Her horse is the Russian, or commonly known around the stables as Walter. It's a 12-year-old thoroughbred. And she's been competing here at the Royal Melbourne Show for 3 years. This is her third year and her first year in the Garryowen. Actually, Georgie's just 18 years of age from Hawthorn East here in Victoria. She's currently doing year 12 at the moment, and she's hoping to do a little bit more dressage after school. She's competed here in Victoria, the Southern Stars, the Battle of the Borders, and at Geelong Royal. A little bit about her horse, Walter, or the Russian, and she's virtually said, yes, he raced, but was not very fast. She's owned him for a couple of years and has also been very successful as a show hunter as well, too. I've got a feeling this horse might have competed in the Garryowen previously as a ride for another rider. This fellow, the Russian, my memory serves me right.
A very good friend of mine, Kristen Wright, rode him last year and was placed 5th. So he's reasonably experienced.
I'm glad you've backed that up, because sometimes you open your mouth and think, am I right, am I wrong? And there'll be someone in the crowd will say, no, you're on the wrong path. I'm sorry, but we were heading down the right road.
Yeah, but Rob, you were wrong once, then you found out it was a mistake, didn't you?
So that I laugh at some of the CVs our riders have written here. Just having a little look here what Georgie's written. Anything interesting about your horse? He's 72 hands high, so he's a fair lump of a fellow. Can smell a carrot from a mile away. Dirt finds him very, very easy. So today's been a bit of a challenge for the pair, so good luck to them. First year competitor, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Georgie Kellock from Hawthorn East at 18 years of age. Well, our next competitor in the 2015 Garryowen is Amelia Skilbeck. Amelia is 31 years of age. She's a hairdresser by occupation. And Amelia is riding a horse by the name of Phoenix Aura, 14 years of age. She's been riding horses since she was 4 years of age, and she's been competing here at Royal Melbourne Show for some 6 years and has had 2 tries at the Garryowen previously. She's been involved with Pony Club and adult riding. She regards her horse, Phoenix Aura, as a once-in-a-lifetime horse. Girls, share with me, once-in-a-lifetime horse?
Was I lucky to have a once-in-a-lifetime horse with Buzzy. As most people probably know, he was a Clydie Cross, which is quite unusual to ride a Clydie Cross in the Garryowen, yet alone win it. So, yeah, I've had my once-in-a-lifetime horse.
I must admit I have been very lucky just on sheer numbers, I think, or my age. I've had a couple of once-in-a-lifetime horses. So, unfortunately, I usually don't have a hack of my own, so all of mine are borrowed when I ride in the Garryowen, and Request, who I won on, obviously would be my once-in-a-lifetime. But I've had some pretty special ponies and Galloways as well that get under your skin. So, yeah, I can say probably 3 in a lifetime would be lucky.
It's funny, I don't want to embarrass you here, but normally when we see you out there, we see you in riding attire. And now I see you in civvies. I feel like I'm sitting next to a young Doris Day.
You're not the first.
Oh, I know. I reckon Doris was a bit hot in my day, actually, to be quite truthful. In her younger days, she was all right. I'm in my element up here. Actually, that's going to be interesting. Linda's going to sing and dance for us a bit later on. She's been practicing all the Doris Day moves. Well, some good encouragement in the crowd. What's that feel like, girls, when you're out there and you finished your workout, or you get that little bit of a roar and a cheer from a few of your friends and family sitting in the crowd? Because it's hard yards. I'm not too sure what time you girls used to get up of a morning, but from my experience around many of the girls that I knew that competed in the Garryowen, it started well before daylight. You know, the hair, the makeup, all the rest of the gear. Sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning, life would start to be out here at about 10 o'clock.
So I think the girls have actually got it easy because we started at our first heat was 8 o'clock in the morning. These girls have had to sleep in at 10. And to be truthful, you don't actually hear the crowd until you get blood back to your head and your ears. And it's about when you hit the track. And if they're clapping, you're thinking, okay, it felt good or it felt bad. But if they're clapping, it must have looked good. So it's a good feeling.
Well, our next competitor to join us in the workout arena is Stephanie Barrington. Stephanie Barrington is aboard a horse called SLM Orlando. He's an 8-year-old thoroughbred, and she's been involved with horses for some 4 or so years. She's been competing here for 18 years. 3 times she has competed here in the Garryowen, and of course won this prestigious trophy back in 2011. That was the year after you, wasn't it, Sarah? What were you, 2010?
Sorry, Rob?
What year were you, 2010?
2010, yep.
Okay.
And Linda was 2009.
2009, 2010?
I came third to Linda in 2009.
Well, there's a bit of trivia. Steph was 2011, so we've gone 9, 10, 11.
And Stephanie was the first time winner in 2009 with myself.
Stephanie Barrington and Doris Day. What a combination. Had the privilege of seeing this young lady around many of our royal shows throughout Australia. A very competent rider. And as distinct from a lot of our other riders, this young lady's had a little bit of international experience as well too, having ridden in Europe. Been successful at Barristock, the Nationals, Royal Melbourne. It's interesting, this horse here, I can share with you girls. You talk about, and it's interesting to have a look at the moment. We've had one warm blood out here, but the majority of our horses out here have been thoroughbreds. With our off-the-track program from Racing Victoria, it's given these horses a new lease of life from being off the racetrack. This horse was the highest priced horse for a yearling. His racing name was Ingleby. Was purchased by Lloyd Williams. So I often refer to, when we go to a yearling sale or a weanling sale, you're putting your hand up for a 4-legged lottery. So here was a horse out here that probably Lloyd Williams thought he could have won a Melbourne Cup with. And now we see him in a show ring, but he looks an absolute picture out there at the moment. Well, Stephanie Barrington, we'll catch up with her in a moment with Casey. a former winner, and we'll find out how her morning has gone and how pleased she is with her workout so far today. Our next competitor to join us in the workout arena will be Penelope Greenhill. Penelope, at 31 years of age, is from Balnarring here in Victoria. She's an interior designer. And the horse that she's riding here today is Coal Beach Party, a 9-year-old thoroughbred riding pony. This young lady's been competing here at Melbourne Show since she was 2 years of age. And for Penelope, this will be her 4th year. Last time she competed here in the Garryowen was 2006. Well, Casey, I think there's a lady coming over to you to have a chat with you. You can renew acquaintances, you two. Have a chat.
Look, Steph and I, we love catching up at these events. She just sees me and starts smiling straight away because she always knows I'm going to grab her. Steph, a past winner here at the Garryowen, you're no stranger to being out there. Tell us a little bit about what this particular event means to a rider and how it changes a rider's career, having won the event before.
I think it means everything to be just out here and to actually win it. You join such an amazing list of previous, you know, champion riders from across Australia. It's an incredible feeling and I'm so lucky.
I think as well you'd now have junior riders coming up to you asking you about your experience in a Garryowen, even helping them with how they get to acquire a horse of this level. How's that been?
It's great. I love to help younger riders and also help older ones as well with their Garryowen experience because there's no one place you can go to find all the knowledge. We're still learning as well. Every year I come out here, we try to make things better. So as long as people keep sharing the knowledge, I guess we can grow together.
Growing together. Look, one of the other things that I would like to ask is, how does it feel being out there, having done it, the workout's done and dusted? Do you get that feeling of relief, that real sigh, like, oh, thank God it's over now? From here, where do you go? Do you go back to your stall and sit down and have a cup of coffee and relax, or still more work to be done?
Oh, the sigh of relief, yes. I think I can feel all the stress from the past year rushing out of my toes. I have no idea. I'll just have a drink now.
No drinking just yet. Save that if you're lucky enough to win. Back up to you, Rob.
Thanks, Case. Thanks, Steph. Good luck. We'll be meeting all the girls a little bit later on today. Well, Penelope Greenhill has just completed her workout on Coal Beach Party. And our next rider to join us will be Alli Beric aboard France. We've seen this horse already through the Royal Melbourne Show competing in hack events. And France is owned by Rebecca Crane and Billy Raymond with Alli. She's 25-year-old. Comes from Corran in Queensland. France is a 9-year-old warm blood. And been involved with horses for many, many, many years and since she was a little girl. She's been competing here at Melbourne for nearly 15 years. So you can see she was 10 years of age before she made the embarkation down here to compete at Melbourne for the first time. She's competed in the Garryowen on 2 occasions. And if we turn the clock back to 2008, she was the best first-year competitor on a horse called Charming back in 2008. And of course, in 2012, won the Garryowen aboard the thoroughbred Accelerate, who I think we've spoken to about on many occasions, was a horse that had raced in Hong Kong and then came back here to Australia and had won something in the vicinity of about $750,000 in prize money. So we're about to cast our eyes into the work arena on a former winner of the Garryowen.
Things haven't really changed over the last 80 years of the Garryowen being held, But one thing that has changed is the style, not the style of horse, but the breed of horse. It used to be thoroughbreds through and through, Linda, you'd have to agree, and now we're seeing more warm bloods, show hunters in this event, which is great to see. Riding ponies, a bit of Arab, there's a little bit of everything, and this is Alli's horse was actually champion show hunter yesterday.
Yes, I think the influence of the warm bloods has definitely changed the whole landscape of showing. I think they've got a different temperament. Their temperament is actually better for what we're asking them to do out here and what we're asking them to put up with. Also, because they've usually got such elastic strides, they're a lot easier to sit to. But I think the biggest thing is the temperament. They've just got a little bit more willingness to help you, whereas a thoroughbred, I love them dearly, but sometimes just say, you know what, I'm not going to do that.
Well, the thoroughbreds are bred to race, so, basically they're just hot horses, aren't they? And they're, a lot of work, whereas your show hunters, you won't see the competitors out lunging the show hunters as much as the thoroughbreds the night before. Again,
yes, and that's an attribute to the warm blood temperament, but I think there's pros and cons for both, and hopefully we won't lose one for the other, and hopefully they can be matched up successfully, and it doesn't matter whether it's a warm blood or whether it's a thoroughbred as to who wins this class.
Well, you can read into that whatever you like. I know where you were coming from, Sarah.
Oh, no, all I'm saying is the difference between...
It's okay, you don't have to justify it.
The
it's okay.
thoroughbred and the show hunter. The show hunter's got to have the perfect manners. He cannot put 1 foot wrong, whereas your thoroughbred, your open hacks, can get away with a little bit more naughtiness.
Yeah, you're
certainly
right.
What the show hunters... I mean, if the show hunter doesn't stand in the lineup, the judge will put him down the back, whereas you'll see the thoroughbreds are walking around all the time just keeping
It's
them
interesting.
moving.
I'll invite you both to give me an answer here. It's interesting when you look, from my role, I'm always looking in the mounting yard for a certain person down here with a microphone in a hand for a new hack somewhere along the line. And I often look at the breeding before I perhaps put my hand up to turn around and say whether I like the horse or whether I don't like the horse, because sometimes you look at a horse that's got staying bloodlines compared to a horse that's had sprinting bloodlines or by a sprinting sire, and you think, am I buying a horse that's going to come out here, it's going to have too much fizz about him, or am I going to be buying a horse where I'm going to have a horse that's going to be a little bit more placid with the staying bloodlines? Interesting concept. I don't know what you think.
I think for us out there, that all means nothing. But it does. You've got to look at the stallion that they're by and the mares that they're bred out of for the temperament. And your best attribute is to speak to the people that have handled the horse, whether it's the trainer or the jockey or the strapper. And you've got to have the temperament, because no amount of money or feed or time and effort is going to fix that once you're out there and you're sort of committed to your work. And it's much easier to feed something that already wants to work for you, and there are so many thoroughbreds out there that will do that for you. So, yeah.
Our next competitor working out here at the moment is Bettina Stanton aboard Vienna Night Divine. And Bettina is another one of our first-year competitors. She's one of our border hoppers from South Australia, and we welcome her to our Royal Melbourne show. In fact, this young lady, I think Casey's going to catch up with her. Casey's got a little bit to do with this young lady. I think she's one of our off-the-track supporters. I've got a funny feeling that's Doris Day singing in the background, isn't it? Well, Bettina is about to finish her workout, and we'll catch up with her in a few moments with Casey. Now, you know a little bit about this lady, and I touched before, Linda, in relation to our off-the-track program, and not only RVL, but racing clubs and tracks right around, or racing organisations right around Australia are now starting to promote and be involved with the thoroughbred. Well, we've got a little apology to make. Our run sheet up here told us that it was Bettina Stanton working out just a moment or two ago, and it was actually Alexa Ward. So the girls been able to pick that up here aboard OEH Eloquence. So our apologies to you, Alexa. As Sarah just said, we can only go by what we're given up here. But luckily, the girls up here are familiar with many of our riders to be able to pick that up. So well done, girls. Thank you. Well, no doubt about who we've got here. This is Karen Goldner. Karen from Horsham in Victoria. She's a sales assistant from up there in the Wimmera. And the horse that she is riding here is Shandon Park Contender, a 14-year-old. This fellow's an Anglo. Not a hunting type, Sarah, I'm sorry. She's been competing here for 6 years and has been competing here also in the Garryowen on 6 occasions as well too. She has had great success at Adelaide, Canberra in 2012. This fellow is known around the stable as Mo. Loves licorice. It's the first time I've ever heard of a horse liking licorice. Well, we might catch up with Karen when she's about to leave the arena with Case in a few moments' time. Meanwhile, we introduce our next competitor to you. And my asterisk tells me we have another first-time competitor here in Jordan Skyring. Jordan from Parkridge in Queensland. So just having a look here, Linda, the Garryowen attracts them from all around the nation.
It sure does, and this little horse actually originated from Victoria, and Dale Plum actually had him, and then he moved on to Chris and Kelly, Chris Anderson and Kelly Webster, and then made the big trek up to Queensland. And Jordan is a beautiful young lady, and it's lovely to have our first timers out here and enjoying their ride, and he's looking sensational.
All right, well, let's go down and join Casey once again.
Well, Kieran, it's great to have you here. Obviously, a fantastic workout from your perspective. How did it go? Everything you wanted it to be?
Oh yes, it was quite, horse behaved well, and I got a little bit lost in my workout, unfortunately, but no, I was very happy with him.
It's very hard to keep the nerves at bay for an event like this because there's so much emphasis put on the Garryowen and winning it. And as we heard at the high tea the other day, one of the pieces that Linda and even Sarah were up there speaking with, they said you nearly have to be close to every part perfect on the day to be able to take this event out. And it's very difficult to achieve.
Yes, no, I totally agree, but to hold everything together, and it's just about going out doing the best you can do on the day.
Your morning this morning, we've started a little bit later this year. Tell us about the preparations and what went on for you. What time did the day start?
Well, we started about 5, just my husband and I, and had a very small team, and that's how I like it.
Small team, steady team, calm team. Best of luck to you, Kieran.
Talking about teams and the amount of people that we surround ourselves with, it's you cannot do this event on your own. Unlike an ag show, you have to have a couple of people with your horse, a couple of people to dress you. We have Paul Werhurst here, who's done a lot of girls' hair. He's a hairdresser in Melbourne, which is great. You just have to surround yourself with a massive team because as the rider, you really can't do anything with the horse because you're too busy getting yourself ready. Linda, how many did you have?
We'll come to that in a moment. We're just having a little look down here at the moment as Jordan Skyring is about to leave the arena in a few moments' time. Another one of our first-timers. And then Annabelle Mulready will be our next competitor to join us. And Annabelle will be aboard DP Mayfair. All right, let's pick up where we left off.
So I'm probably going to put a spanner in the works, but I probably, again, with experience and age, take this event very quietly, and I usually dress myself. I will usually have someone come in and check my gear, and Caroline Wagner always does the traditional stock for me. That's my tradition. And I've usually got one person doing the horse, and I will check it in between getting dressed. And I have my breeches are 60 years old, so they're on probably an hour to an hour and a half before this class starts to try and warm them up because they're like riding with cardboard. So I actually get quite mobile and I'll be walking around the stables checking the horse and his gear, and then I'll quietly go back, I'm already half dressed, and finish off what I need to do. And it's just really relaxed, I think.
This is one event, Linda, that would be every husband, boyfriend, partner's dream, that you actually try and get second-hand gear. I mean, who wants to wear a second-hand ball dress to a ball? But this, everyone prides themselves on getting a second-hand saddle, second-hand girth, second-hand coat, breeches, boots particularly. You really don't want to have to go out and buy them because they're so hard to break in.
Yes, so my boots came from my sister, Deborah Lovett. They were her eventing boots, and I saw them and I grabbed them, and I think I paid $20 and they were covered in mud. So they would be over 30 years old. Again, the breeches I've said were Leslie Walkinshaw's. They're 60 years old. My jacket is back to 1973 and I'm not sure whose that was. So the new things would just be my stock and my shirt and occasionally gloves. So yeah, a long time.
All right, Ms. Love, I'm going to hand you that and you're going to say, no, you can read it. No, you can read it because you can understand your own writing. I'm not reading it, she says. Actually, she's gone to all the trouble to tell us a little bit about some of the clothing that is worn. And I know we've gone through this over a few years, but some of the gear, and it's interesting to hear you touch on that, Linda, before, about the clothing that you wear out there. Of course, it's very British, it's very English, and it's very much based on the hunting style. Can you understand her writing?
I can give it a go.
Okay, see how you go, because this is interesting. Stay tuned.
Okay, hunting originated in the 16th century. In the 1970s, men's fashion called for a long, wide, skirted, embroidered coats, ruffled shirts, tri-corner hats and satin breeches. Gentlemen in the English countryside found the long, skirted coats well suited for hours in the saddle. Silk and satin breeches were too fragile for the thorns and branches and weathers in the field, and the tricolour hats were too easily lost in the heat of the chase. And, of course, the mud. How could they ride with delicate fabric. So that is where I think that our wool and our heavy fabrics have come in. The English countrymen were the ones that brought in the heavy fabrics, and from there that's where we've got what we've got today. It was just the lace and the silk just weren't holding up to the rigours of hunting.
It's interesting when we have a look at yesterday, was probably a prize example last night with our hunt club teams out here. We got a fair bit of rain here last night, and you could see everyone was looking up and said, oh, those poor devils out there riding in all that weather. And yet you had a look at them, and the gear that they had on, of course, which you've just heard Linda talking about, very much not so much absorbed all that, but that's what it was designed to put up with, because when we're out hunting out in the fields, rain, hail or shine, we've got to have something that's quite competitive for it.
Well, Rob, this is what this event originated from. So all these girls are in true hunting gear, as you saw the hunting people yesterday, and you'll see the trios this afternoon with their turnout. So it is true that it's 22-ounce wool coats, cavalry twill breeches, etc. I'll go through a few things later on.
All right, our next competitor, another first year, as you can see up there on the big screen, is number 546, and that's Severn Park Tell All is the name of the mount for Sarah Dempsey. Sarah from Whittlesea here in Victoria is an assistant property manager. Horse is 7 years of age. She's a thoroughbred, and she's been involved in horses, well, virtually from birth, virtually. She's been here at Royal Melbourne Show every year except when she was 3. Goodness gracious. First time here at the Garryowen, so we wish her well. We've got, as I said earlier on today, we've got, well, we've now got 9. We had 10. We've got 1 scratching, which unfortunately caught us by surprise here in Bettina Stanton. So we have 9 first-time Garryowen competitors here today. And this combination, actually it's interesting, I'm having a look at the sire of this fella here, Denon. You talk about horses of size. Now Denon, I know a little bit about, because I've had a few by Denon myself. He was a horse they brought out here to stand at stud, and he's one of those stallions that really has produced some good-looking hacks. All right, we're having a little bit of a guess up here. Compared to our running sheet, we are of the opinion that this is Rebecca Maddox, number 1769. Rebecca, as we have a look on the big screen at the moment, she's from Middle Park. She's a dental hygienist. And the name of the horse is Constant Past Secret. She competed here in the Garryowen in 2013 and in 2014. Unfortunately was entered but was scratched. This horse, of course, was originally owned, I think, by Di McDonald. Constant Park Secret, 13 years of age. So we've seen a little bit of him over a period of time. Well, we're about to introduce to you, I think, another first-year competitor. This time it's Rachel Triffett, number 1928. Rachel is aboard a horse called the Vinci Code. Now, Linda, you can tell me a little bit about this pair.
Yes, I've been lucky enough to watch Rachel grow up like all the other girls that are out there, and this horse is huge. I'm only 5 foot nothing, and he's massive. Yeah, and we're back on the Doris Day thing. Rachel is got her trainer's licence and is currently training, and I think this is one of the horses that she's got off the track. She has the support of her mother, Glenys, who has actually been a former winner of the Garryowen, and her training is going very well. She's got some winners coming through her stables together with her husband, so we wish them good luck and hopefully they have a wonderful day.
It's interesting, you've a couple of times you've mentioned husbands and partners and people involved behind the scenes. I just wonder whether these gentlemen know what they're in for once they get involved with someone that's involved in the horse world. A couple of gentlemen that I've known whose wives spend more time at a show than they probably do in the house have accepted it and accepted it well, but they've now become an integral part, not only of the success that they're having, but I never ever thought I'd see my mates out there cleaning saddlery, you know, grooming horses, even plaiting, which to me at times is a great transition for a lot of the boys, let me tell you.
Short and sweet, happy wife, happy life.
All right, thanks, Doris. Well, I think we might go down to ground level very soon and catch up with our young lady that's coming out of the arena now. In a few moments' time, we'll catch up with her and just find out the nerves and the thoughts of Rachel in relation to being yet another first-year competitor. And it'll be interesting to catch up with her and share the experience of her very first Garryowen. Well, our next competitor to join us in a few moments' time is Kathleen Mullen, exhibitor, of course, the Mullen family, very much involved in the harness racing world as well too. Kathleen is an events manager. In fact, Kathleen works at HRV down there at Melton. Coal Beach Roulette as an 8-year-old, a riding pony thoroughbred cross. And like I think just about all the Mullen girls, they've been around horses all their life. She's been competing here at Melbourne Show for some 5 odd years. And this is her 3rd year. As she says, 3rd time lucky. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed for you. Won the Esquire Turnout in 2014 here. And this little pony here has had some wonderful success, not only here at the Royal Melbourne Show last year, but also, I think if my memory serves me right, also took reserve champion maybe down at Geelong in 2014 as well too. Saw this mare, fell in love with it, and was one of those girls that turned around and said, I have to have her. All right, let's go down and join Casey with Rachel.
Well, it's great to finally get that monkey off your back, Rachel. First time out here, first time competitor in the Garryowen. Mum's won it before. Did you feel a little bit of pressure there?
Yeah, certainly. I think being MJ's first Garryowen as well, it's actually his first royal show, so it's a massive ask for him to come out with the atmosphere and all the different gear on and work as well.
I have actually quite a close relationship with this horse. One of my best friends, Paula Heffernan, who's another racing background, a lot like yourself, had him before. So I've watched him pretty much from his days transforming from the track to now getting to see him to being a show horse to compete in the Garryowen. And he seems to have taken it in his stride out there. He seems a horse that works very freely and very kindly for you.
Yeah, he is. Once he's up and working, I knew if I got him on the arena, he would be good. It's just the standing around, things that he has to learn, he's not great at yet.
How is it to try and rehome a horse that's come off the track and then retrain them? I know Paula did an instrumental job with this horse, but you yourself being a trainer and getting horses off the track and things like that, is it really difficult to be able to teach a thoroughbred to come off the racing industry and then to do something like this?
Yeah, it is certainly. It depends a lot on the horse. The thoroughbreds are generally very hot animals. If they've got a great temperament like this horse does, he's just still learning the few little things, but they are very athletic and generally very trainable.
Well, best of luck to you today, not only for our top 6 in the Garryowen, but also best of luck in trying to win our first year competitor. Well done, Rachel.
Yes, Rachel, thank you for popping by and having a chat with us. And Casey, thank you very much also for that little interview. I can also share with you people here that are watching this live, we've also got quite a few people watching our live stream of the Garryowen out there today. So good morning to you. And we've got nearly 1,000 people sitting out there watching and listening to us at this present point in time.
Definitely. Good morning to everyone in Cora and New South Wales.
Also, I'd like to say hello to Craig Vermey, who is in England, and I've also got Vicki Lawrie in Utah in America. So this goes a long way. There's a lot of people out there watching it, and we've got beautiful Melbourne weather.
Anyone else has got any other Cheerios, just to come up and see us. Gee, it's starting to spread its wings, isn't it? International appeal. The Garryowen of 2015. Now, girls, I need a little bit of help here. Our next competitor to enter into the arena is, or should be, I think, Sue Thompson. Sue is... go on. Come on, Doris, help me.
Sue is of my vintage, so that makes Sue an older competitor, but a good competitor. And she's out there on Sammy, which is Royalwood opening night, and they have been a very successful combination. And if you watch Sue as she rides around, you'll actually see that she's always smiling. She just loves and enjoys riding this horse so much.
Well, do you know what made me smile and ask you to do that? She's got her age here, which is 50, but she's got 3 question marks beside it. So I'm not too sure whether that was for my benefit or not, Sue, but... we'll say just 50 and enjoying it.
No, I think she had a fabulous 50th birthday in the city not so long ago.
Seen the pictures? She's an admin manager. And of course, this is a riding pony breed. 6-year-old, And how long has she been competing at Melbourne Show? Too many to remember, as I am so old. I think you're a bit hard on yourself, Suze. This may be, I think, about her 10th or so, Garryowen. And she was actually placed here in 2012, riding a horse who you girls would probably remember, Concerto.
This Galloway was champion Galloway on Monday, I believe. Yes.
Actually, I think Greg Micken and Terry Van Huysen from Romsey Park had a little bit to do with this fellow, which is referred to as Sammy, Royalwood opening night. And all of the success on Sammy is their success also, which is lovely. So we're watching at the moment Sue Thompson from Croydon aboard Royalwood opening night.
Linda, getting back to the costume, can you explain to everybody how hard it is to ride in this outfit? We get maybe 3 turnouts a year, one in Sydney, which obviously is not as hotly contested as what the Garryowen is, and also one in Adelaide, which was last week. But years ago, the equestrian turnout at the ag shows, everyone went in them. It was a big silver trophy and we're all dressed in the Garryowen gear at several shows throughout the year. But now, basically, these girls do it once a year, so it is so difficult to get it right with all the intricacies of it.
Yes, I agree, Sarah. And I think a good lead up for this Royal here, a lot of the girls will do Adelaide Royal and have a bit of a feel and see how they're going. I know I've helped get 2 competitors that are out here today get ready at Adelaide, and you do a run through. But I think the biggest thing that the competitors have got to take away is, yes, you need the gear, yes, it needs to fit, but you've got to be comfortable in it. You've got to be able to ride in it, otherwise it's no point. And the big thing is you've got to ride your horse in spurs. A lot of these horses aren't ridden in spurs, and then for the day, all of a sudden there's spurs in their side and it doesn't end nicely.
Yeah, but we're trussed up like a Christmas turkey, really. The boots are so tight on your leg, you can hardly feel your toes. The breeches are pure wool, which we never ride in, ever. We're all in elastic, synthetic. The coat's as tight as tight. The stock, well, that's just about breaks your neck.
The good side of it is that for me, I actually sit up straight and I don't look down because my stock's holding my head up.
Yeah, well, you can't do anything else because everything's so tight. It does make you sit up straight.
And look, I love getting in my Garryowen gear. It's like, I think, going out to a ball or a formal function. You do, I think, just feel that little bit more special on the day.
Actually, Sarah used to share with us a lovely story up here every year about how you got your boots on and off. And I don't know whether you've got that little bit of information for us this year, but an ex-competitor to join us, making their way into the arena, should be Rebecca Richards, according to our run sheet. And Rebecca is aboard Diamonds, another horse that we have seen on many occasions, not only here at Royal Melbourne Show, but throughout the show circuit. So he's a horse with plenty of experience.
Very successful mare.
And Diamonds, as Linda just whispered in my ear quietly here, a very successful mare.
It would have to be one of the most successful show hunters in the country, I'd say. Getting back to the outfits, Linda, tying a stock. Is that everyone nearly dies? Now,
she used to get someone to do hers for her.
Well, we all do. We all get Caroline Wagner. She's the queen of tying stocks. But I don't know. Does everybody realise why we have a stock? Do you know, Linda?
Yeah, well, I'm under the impression that...
Get it right, because I'm the guru.
Pressure's on, Doris. I'm under the impression that if you fall off, you can use it for a bandage or tourniquet or something like that. Am I right?
Oh, we're going to put you in with the chaser.
That is.
You and the chaser. Very good. That'll do.
And also as a sling, if you hurt your arm.
Yeah, she covered that. That's okay. It's all right. It's all right. She's trying to pull you to pits now.
I know.
The stock pins used to attach the stock if it's used as a bandage to obviously secure it on the injury of the horse. And also the stock is tied so tight because it's supposed to help you in case you fall off for your neck, which I find it very hard to believe that a bit of Marcella cotton would actually save your neck.
No, I think we'll give her a pass, Mark. That's okay. Because I was right under you too, Doris. I knew what it was for. We've been practicing up here for the last 5 years. You know that.
All the girls are in exactly the same outfit. There's no difference with anyone. It's just how you go with your riding, your manners and paces, and who's just put it together really well. It's attention to detail. You've got, for the people out there that have got no idea, all these coats are handmade, hand-stitched, including the vest. They've got double-cuffed turnout shirt without a collar. There's studs. There's a large stud at the front and a small stud at the back of the neck of the collar to attach your stock to. It just goes on and on and on. You have no idea the intricacies. That's it. I can't get it out.
Actually, Sarah, last year I had some friends sitting out here watching the Garryowen for the very, very first time, and their reaction to me as to watching the judge, and I did explain to them the various facets that we go through, and as we watch our rider down here about to be judged with costume, they couldn't get over what the judges were actually doing to the competitor. You know, folding back the collar, lifting up the split of the coat to have a look. They're looking at their backside. They're doing all sorts of things. There's all sorts of things we're looking for.
You can see the judge now. She'll be looking for the lining, which has to be a certain colour. You can see she's looking at the cuff links to make sure it's all double cuffed. She'll be checking to make sure the button on the vest is undone and the 3 buttons on the coat are done up.
And I think the big thing is that the girls have tucked their shirts in, because watching this, they're the little things that get the big points taken away. You know, that you've forgotten to, once you've been hoisted on, to tuck your shirt back down, pull your vest back down, pull your stock back down. It's things like, have you done your harness up properly? You know, is your hair all in? All the little things that actually separate the winners from the place getters.
Well, I'll let you into a little secret. A young lady who I have a little bit to do with, we used to line the top of her joddies with a little bit of rubber like we do in men's pants. So therefore, that rubber stopped your shirt or whatever you're wearing, or blouse or what shirt, from riding up or coming out. So just the little tricks of the trade. Our next horse to work in a few moments' time will be Laura Golding. And this is a little horse that I've seen before today. Laura's 25. She's from Lakes Entrance, a HR and marketing manager. The horse's name is KT Madrid. He's a 12-year-old thoroughbred warm blood cross. And she's been around horses since she was 10 years of age. Of course, and like many of our riders here coming up through the Pony Club, competed at Melbourne, Hobart, Launceston, Adelaide. She's been around all the Royals. And this fellow's known at home as Cooper. He's a pleasure to ride, a pleasure to own and have around. And it's got a real personality all of his own. Laura Golding, 25-year-old from Lakes Entrance, aboard KT Madrid. Oh, you're joking. Well, gee, this is incredible. I'm just having a... Can I look over your shoulder here? You've got your iPhone out here and...
So we are actually live, and it's gone through to England, and we've just had people come back and say some very positive things, which is just amazing. Like, this event is international, and look at the weather we've done. Like, it's fantastic.
Actually, I love the little bit at the top there. You are doing a good job, Doris. So someone's picked up. It's always nice to surround yourself with people who've been there and done it. And it is a ladies' event, so, I mean, I'll hold the fort, girls, but this is your event, the Garryowen. The biggest, the best, the most prestigious equestrian event in the Southern Hemisphere. Have we ever had internationals... I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Sarah. Have we ever had... she's eating. Have we ever had internationals compete over here? I think we had a young lady.
I think a few years ago we had a lady from... A lady from France, was it?
No, New Zealand.
We had a rather attractive lady, if my memory serves me right, here once.
She was European, Rob.
Not that I would have taken a lot of notice. I loved a horse.
So that was Elizabeth Charlton of New Zealand, and she was a supermodel. She's currently down in New Zealand, and she's running their massive Horse of the Year show down there. And she is a great campaigner for awareness of helmets, because she has sustained brain injury at the moment. She's coping well, but she's a great. She came over and did a great competition she had the backing of Pete and Caroline Wagner that year and thoroughly enjoyed it. So, yes, we have had international competitors.
And I'd be a great advocate of a helmet as well, because I fractured my skull when I was 14 from a horse.
Once again, we introduce another first-year competitor to you, and it's Samantha McMaster, young 19-year-old from Loxley. She's a university student, thoroughbred here, and the horse that she is on is SLM Mercedes. She's been, it says here on her CV, she's been involved from the moment she was born in the world of horses. She's been competing here at the Royal Melbourne Show for about 12 years, and as I mentioned before, first time out here in the Garryowen. I think they refer to this fellow as Darcy. SLM Mercedes is the stable name for him. Lovely horse. Likes his routine. And Samantha is juggling. She's doing well, actually, because she's not only here joining us today, but she's juggling first-year science at Melbourne Uni while still riding at least 4 days a week. So it's a big commitment, girls, from the equine world to be able to, at that young age, to be able to make a career for yourself and still be able to get a horse up to the preparation of what we're seeing here today, because it is all taking time.
Absolutely. And this family has been in showing and around horses for a long time. And again, the girls have been riding for as long as I've known them. And the credit to their mum. Their mum does a lot of hard miles, and the girls put in hard. They do a lot of off-the-trackers and are very successful bringing them from the racetrack into the show ring. So a job well done, and I hope she's enjoying her ride out there.
Well, she's another young lady we probably should try and catch up with, Case, just to forewarn you down there. Our first year competitor here aboard SLM Mercedes, number 570, Samantha McMaster.
He hasn't stood for a day, but the old neck scratches, I've got him going well. Yeah.
Well, our next competitor is number 1249, and that should be Bronwyn Nunan. Bronwyn aboard a horse called Lonsdale. No denying who his dad is. Looking at him, he'd be a Lonro. He's a thoroughbred. She's been involved with horses all her life and got her first horse at the ripe old age of 8 years of age. She's a finance project officer from Bendigo here in Victoria. Saw this fellow at our Summer Royal down at Werribee Park earlier this year, and was the supreme thoroughbred down there, and was best in show at Melbourne Royal in the inaugural year. All right, we'll go down and join Case at the moment. Meanwhile, working out in the arena in a few moments, it's Bronwyn Nunan aboard Lonsdale.
Well, I was going to say to Sam, how does it feel being a first-year competitor? But I think I've just put her horse to sleep here by a little scratch on the neck. First year out, would have looked pretty good, Sam. I was watching your workout. Was it everything that you wanted it to be?
Yes, I'm very, very pleased with him. He was really good and handled the atmosphere very well, and yeah, I'm just so happy.
They say potentially, I'll ask you this question, on a lady's wedding day, they tell you to make sure you slow it all down, take it all in, breathe a sigh of relief. Did you find that went really, really quickly for you out there? Did you get the chance to take it in?
I think I did. I tried to take a deep breath and take it in, but it did go very, very quickly. I feel like it's all over very quickly, but it was good.
Your morning this morning, getting out of bed, getting up. Tell us a little bit about the preparations that went forth, the plats, etc., etc. Was that all done this morning, or did you prepare last night?
We had everything organised last night, but we did the plaiting and the washing and everything this morning so that it's all, beautifully done this morning. And I want to thank, everyone that helped me get ready this morning. So, yeah.
There's actually quite a big team behind you guys that are out there. A strong team, I'm pretty sure, would be in the crowd. How many is there behind your team this year?
Oh, I don't know. We had lots of people in and out helping, but probably about 6 or 7 people that were there the whole time helping. So, yeah.
Well, best of luck to you on a job well done. A beautiful workout from where I was standing. Let's see if she's lucky enough to take home our first year competitor as well as place in our Garryowen.
Thanks, Case. Well, we'll be watching what the judge has to say a little bit later on, I dare say, and we wish her well. SLM Mercedes and Samantha McMaster. Well, Bronwyn Nunan has just completed her workout aboard Lonsdale, number 1249. Well, just doing her warm-up and about to enter the arena. From Tangel South down in Gippsland, it is Michelle Painter. Aboard the mount, Grandeur Heart and Soul. Michelle is 39 years of age. She's a legal secretary. Grandeur is just 7 years of age and a riding pony breed. She's been involved with horses from a very, very young age, and she's been competing here at Royal Melbourne for almost 30 years. Now, it is too. I was just having a look at 30 years of age and been around the horse scene for a long time. This is her first time in the Garryowen.
So Michelle's been around for a lot of years, and they've concentrated on turnouts and also the open ring. So she's now feeling confident and got the horse. She's usually had ponies or Galloways, and she's now got the horse to give it a go out here. So let's hope it all goes well for her.
Well, can we also say, Michelle, happy birthday? Because every time she comes to Melbourne Show, it just so happens that her birthday is during Melbourne Show. And she won a hat class. Gee, you're up to date with things, aren't you? Her birthday falls during Melbourne Show each year, and this year was on Monday when Connie, which of course is her horse out here, that's the stable name, won her class. I'm glad you came, Doris. You're a wealth of knowledge, you really are. This little horse, actually it's a really interesting story, and I don't think Michelle would mind me sharing this with you actually. We hear of a lot of quality horses. We could do what's called embryo transfers, and this is one mare which they've actually got 2 beautiful embryo transfer foals from this horse here in 2014. So something a little bit different in the horse world. Well, it's no different than IVF, I suppose, in the human world to a certain extent. They've flushed the eggs from this mare here, fertilised them, and found a surrogate. And they had a successful outcome, which is wonderful. Something we can do in the harness racing world, but we can't do in the thoroughbred world, unfortunately. Well, about to enter the arena to work out now is Stephanie O'Connor. Stephanie aboard a horse called D'Artagnan, a warm blood thoroughbred cross, 13 years of age. No, sorry, 6 years of age. And for Stephanie, first time here at a Royal Melbourne Show, first time in a Garryowen Equestrienne Turnout. She's done a lot of dressage at pony club level, at low level. But she's had some reasonable success in adult rider classes and in hack classes in 2013, 14, 15. In fact, I think this horse she purchased from Rebecca Crane back some couple of years ago. We saw this horse compete quite successfully up there in Queensland. And they're embarking on a big journey after Royal Melbourne Show. Looking forward to competing at all the state show rings. New South Wales Horse of the Year. Very lovable horse with a huge personality. Loves his food and ripping up rugs. So we're talking about D'Artagnan, Stephanie O'Connor. There's another young girl who is a student still at the moment, studying Commerce and Arts at Macquarie University. So she's combining both her studies and her love of horses at the same time. I wish you people down there could listen to these girls gossiping up here. What do you say, Doris? You're a cheapie.
We were talking about the cost of the saddlery and the girths and the bridles and the stirrups, and Linda just said she must be a cheapskate because she borrowed the whole lot. But
And look, I've been very, very lucky in the respect that the owners have entrusted me with their horses each year. I've never had to buy a horse. So, like, just the spirit that people want their horses to go into the Garryowen. And usually with the horse comes the saddle and the bridle. So I don't have to buy anything. I polish, and all my gear I keep year in, year out. So I'm a cheap one.
I don't think you're on your own. Look, whether you're male or female, I mean, I started riding with hand-me-downs. I think it's part of the world of which we love. You know, if it's not a family member, it's someone around the corner, or it's someone whom you know, or someone that turns around and says, "Look, my boy's got too big for my gear. Would your little fellow be interested in it?" But I went through a growth spurt there at one stage that it would have cost my family a fortune in gear for me, because I shot up like a beanpole at one stage, and there wasn't much to me whatsoever. But
and out.
Well, no, I've gone out now. Now I'm not a professional athlete anymore, seriously. That's what happens. You'd know that. Fiona McIntyre joins us in the arena. A horse, and probably a sad time when I talk about this horse, Sermione, because he raced under the legendary Bart Cummings, and it's only a couple of weeks ago that we lost Bart. And it was really interesting, girls. I'm not too sure whether you saw our fancy dress here the other night, first or second night of the show. I saw a little pony come in with some colours of the green and gold, and I'm thinking, they're Bart's colours. And you wouldn't believe it. There was a guy dressed up as Bart in the fancy dress party. So, Sermione, ridden here by Fiona McIntyre from Inverleigh. She's a manager in employment services. Sermione is an 11-year-old thoroughbred. And Fiona is no stranger to the Garryowen. She's been out here on some 14-odd occasions. This fellow has had a wonderful transition from the racetrack to the show ring. He was purchased as a yearling by Bart Cummings for some $350,000. He went on to win 4 major races, including 2 Group 1s. He was an Australian Cup winner and a McKinnon Stakes winner. And I think, in a nutshell, is proof that good racehorses can go on to become awesome show horses, given the opportunity to continue their career. He's a pleasure to deal with, this fellow, and always gives 110%. So for Fiona, good luck out there on her 11-year-old Sermione. And we wish her good luck as she has another crack at trying to win the Garryowen Equestrienne Turnout. Actually, it's interesting, Linda. I know we shouldn't be pumping up the tyres of individuals or horses or what have you, but this fellow out here is really, I was nearly going to say our calendar boy, Sermione. Is that probably a nice way to describe him?
So I would say at the moment that the off-the-track people have picked him up as the ambassador for off-the-track, just because he has done so well. And there's just recently been some beautiful photos of him as a racehorse going over the finishing line. And then Fiona has had a photo put above it of her and her riding and show gear going across the finishing line. And it's just such a lovely thing to see that these horses are getting a second life and they are getting rehomed. And it's just a lovely story. And then to be out here doing the Garryowen, it's just super. I think it's fantastic for everyone.
Another horse we're going to be seeing in a few moments' time is another thoroughbred who was purchased quite some time back now, but was destined for a racing career. Was actually purchased from Tony Santic, of course, Maccabi Diva fame. The horse we're looking at here about to enter the arena is a horse called Black Tie. Of course, he's a winner right across Australia. Whether we see him at Brisbane, Sydney or Adelaide, he's had some wonderful success, this fellow. He was originally a horse that I think Vicki Lawrie had, and then Kim Durante took him over. And he's been champion hack at many, many Royal Agricultural and National Horse Shows right across, and imported as a warm blood from Germany. Linda's just saying to me he's a gentleman. I know this fellow, inside out and back to front, actually. Jemma is 19 years of age, and I think Jemma's another one of our first-year competitors as well, too. Black Tie, he's 12 years of age. No, I take it back, she's not. I've got my dot in the wrong spot. She actually has competed here just on one occasion, here at Royal Melbourne. And she's competed at the Garryowen on one occasion. Well, Case, if you can hear me down there, I would really like you to have a quick chat here with Jemma when she comes out, because the judge will be making their assertion of the workout. Not that they're going to be influenced in what we're talking about, but I think she'll be very, very happy with what has just transpired out there in that arena with her horse Black Tie, striking black horse. All right, let's move forward. And our next competitor here is Ayana Ellevsen, and Ayana is aboard a horse called Rogue Trader, another one of our first-year competitors. She's a uni student, Rogue Trader, and this is her first year of competing here in a Garryowen, and had a little bit of experience at dressage. Just having a quick look through her CV. Rogue Trader is by the highly successful dressage sire Regarde-moi. I'm having a French lesson up here at the same time. It's affectionately known as Pinky. Well, we've spoken about Pinky. Let's now go and speak about Black Tie. and his rider down here at grade level with Casey Bruce.
Oh, now we're on. There we go. We had a little communication issue there. Well, Gemma's here with me. There's big smiles going, glowing from her face. Then she would have had to have been pretty happy with that. That looked almost a flawless workout for me. How did it feel?
Yeah, amazing. He's so well behaved and, yeah, just lovely. So happy.
He looks like a really comfortable horse to ride. He gives you such a smooth ride, and that's a really important part of any type of workout, whether it be a riding workout, a Garryowen, is for horse and rider to look like they're doing it without even trying. He gives you that?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Coming down from Queensland, making a very long journey, tell us about the preparations that goes into getting everything ready, making sure it's all prepared, the drive down here, are there many stops?
Yeah, it's a 3-day drive, 2 stops, one at Taree and Tarcutta, and all the gear needs to be ready before we leave. So then we come down and bring irons and stuff because nothing stays good over travelling. So we have to redo it all. Yeah.
Any nervous panics that something may or may not have been left at home?
Sometimes, but no, we checked a few times, so pretty confident.
The Queensland team are having a very successful Melbourne show thus so far. Did you all travel down together or did everyone come in separate floats or trucks?
Sort of together, some separate, some together.
Well, Jemma, let me tell you, your effort was great out there. You'd be pretty happy. Let's see how you stand, or even fair in the placings maybe a little bit later on. Fingers crossed.
Thanks, Case. And we'll pop back downstairs again later on as we now enter to our last 10 riders in our Garryowen of 2015. So the horse. So Ayana Ellevsen has completed her workout, and our next horse and rider to join us, she'll be competitor number 667, Westwood Mastercast. And our rider here will be Lisa Apps. Lisa, 50 years of age, is one of our more experienced riders at 50. She's from Beric. She's a dental practice manager. Actually, we've got a few of the dental trade out here today. We had a hygienist out there a little bit earlier on.
Yes, it costs thousands. It costs thousands, and dental hygiene's a well-paid job.
Says Doris Day with a lovely pair of pearlers up here. Westwood Mastercast, a 9-year-old. He's a thoroughbred riding pony cross. How many times have you competed here at Royal Melbourne Show? Lots. My mum competed as a child, myself and sister and nieces. So it's a big family involvement here for the Apps team. This is the second time in the Garryowen. How did she get involved in Cinza? Here's something interesting, girls. Her children gave up riding, so I decided to take up riding the horse myself and started competing. She's a newcomer to the industry, I suppose, to a certain extent. Won the ladies' hack at Geelong back in 2013 and made the top 10 at Barristock back in 2012. Well, our next competitor is number 772. This is Royalwood Centre Stage, and the rider here, India Mitchell. Young lady, I think you know a little bit about. Linda, would you like to share with us?
So India's been riding for a long time, and she's come off ponies and has had this horse for a number of years. She's competed at the Nationals, at national level. She's been successful here this year in her hack classes. She's also studying at university. I think she might be in her final year, and has prepared this horse herself, and her mother is also her greatest supporter. So a lovely team that have been together for a long time, and a very successful team.
As you can see, the saddlery judge is now looking at the bridle and the saddle, and unlike other events that we go in at the show, we don't have anything raised. It's all flat leather, flat reins, Fitzwilliam girth. There's absolutely no stitching, and the reason for this was in the hunt field, because when it's wet, obviously in winter, the mud gets in the stitching and you can't get it out. So this is going back to true hunting traditional gear. You'll also notice that the stirrups, they're hunting stirrups. We don't have rubber stops in them. So with the girls with these leather boots and the leather soles, it's quite difficult actually to keep your feet in the stirrups.
So to even take it a step further with what Sarah's saying is, with this turnout gear, per inch, there's a certain amount of stitches you've got to do per inch, which is usually more than your normal general gear.
I think it's 12.
Yes, and then with your stirrup irons, a lot of the girls get them chrome, but there are actually little spikes underneath that you sort of raise, and they grab the leather on the bottom of your boot. But some of the younger girls now, I've had a look at what they're riding on, and they've forgotten to get them sharpened up. So they're riding on skateboards. So,
which is a no-no.
Yes, it is all those little attentions to details that do help you ride better. And obviously, if you can keep your feet in the stirrup, that is a big help.
Yeah, and you'll notice the bridle, all the buckles are done up on the middle hole. There's 3 above and 3 below. They're on the middle hole, and they're all in line with the horse's eye, the cheek strap included, everything's lined up. And to get these made to measure is extremely difficult, because a lot of these people have to get trial bridle sent up with the bits. Hopefully it fits. So it can take several goes and back to the saddle to get these things correct, because if you don't have it correct, you're going to lose marks.
Well, in the arena at the moment, doing her workout, is Shae Hanger from Pearcedale. And we've got a little bit of history going around out here. Most of our judging has been done, so whatever I have to say here, our judges aren't going to be taking any notice of, but this is a previous winner, and of course, she is the relation of Violet Murrell. Dual winner of our Garryowen, 32 years of age. The horse she's competing on is a horse called Chosen One, a thoroughbred, which I think came from the Tony Noonan stable. She's 10 years of age. This young lady's been competing here for many, many years as well too. She was first in the Garryowen on a horse called Warwind back in 2008. She won here on Chosen One in 2014, and I think was placed on the big grey horse. Was it Highmont? Was Warwind the grey horse, was it? Highmont in 2011, she was second in. Okay. So she's been on a wonderful journey. So she's going for the trifecta here today. This fellow here had won up to 2,000 metres on the racetrack. I think Tony Noonan, whom we had here some years ago actually judging our thoroughbreds in the Garryowen, had spotted this horse one day, and having known Shae's family had said, I've got a horse here that I think might make a decent show horse. Of course, Violet Murrell is Shae's great aunt. Well, my co-commentators up here applauding that as the crowd is downstairs of being another good workout. We've had a few good workouts out there today, girls. I've been impressed. A couple of flying changes out there. There's a few that have thrown caution to the wind.
Absolutely, and I think you've got to commit to your workout while you're out there. We've written down our short list. I hope everyone out there is doing the same, and we'll compare them in about, I don't know, half an hour and see how we go. But there has been some lovely workouts, and again, some beautiful riders and beautiful horses, and we've got beautiful Melbourne weather.
Well, in the olden days, Sarah, we used to get our points together from manners and paces and a few other little bits and pieces of riding, which we'd have a point system up to 50% of the way through the competition, which gave us a little bit of an indication of how well our riders were going at that time. Now it is very much sit on your seats and wait for the ultimate result at the end. So very much in camera at the moment, but the girls up here, you're right, they've been watching, working, had their pens working vigorously here at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see what they see as probably being good workouts. But then again, you're not down there, girls, to be able to have a look at the costume, etc., etc.
Well, last year they changed the format again. Several years prior to that, they were announcing the points of your riding and your manners and paces. So it took out a bit of mystique of who was going to win. You sort of had it pretty much worked out. But now it's all back to no one knows anything until they're announced.
All right, Case, let's join Shae down there at the moment as she is on her journey towards hoping to get a trifecta. But just before we interview Shae down there, working out at the moment is Laura Moe aboard LP Dancer from Mandurang near Bendigo.
Well, hopefully, three-time, maybe, we'll never know. But she's been here twice, so she knows what it takes to win. Shae, how did that feel to you?
Yeah, really good. I think he sort of got out there and went, oh, this again. But no, he felt really well. He was over in the back and he moved on really well for me.
Obviously, you guys are great advocates for our off-the-track scenario. This horse, as you say, being raced with Tony Nunan, and how Tony had given you a call and saying, Shae, I think I have a horse for you. But for anyone in the crowd that's looking towards getting a horse that's off the track, what are some of the stronger points that you look for in a really good thoroughbred?
Well, the main thing is the head. I sort of think it's the only thing you cannot change. So as long as you walk along we always go to the stables and you just walk up and down the lane. When they put the head out over the stable and you look at that, you go, yes. This horse we bought him for the Garryowen. We looked for confirmation, had to be 100%. His manners, his nature had to be 100%, which is probably harder than just getting just a normal thoroughbred for the track. Sorry.
Well, he seems to fit all the categories for that in terms of what you're saying, with a really good head and personality as well. And it is generally quite hard to find a horse with a thoroughbred with such strong points to have when you're speaking about they need to be quiet and they need to be really versatile for what they're doing.
Yes, that's right. Well, it probably took us about 2 years to find a horse for the Garryowen after Warwind. I was looking for another horse off the track. And so to think how many stables we walked through, how many tracks we went to find something. So it was really good after a couple of years to find chosen one.
Well, Shae, if it's any consolation, I'm still waiting as well after about 10 years. So eventually I'll find my Garryowen horse. Maybe you guys up there might be able to give me a hand.
You must have a father with plenty of money, have you? Thanks, Shae. Well done, Shae. Good to catch up with you and good luck. We'll find out in about half an hour's time as to how successful you were in the 2015 Garryowen. Laura Moe was our last horse to work out, or LP Dancer was our last horse to work out with Laura Moe. And looking here now for our next competitor to join us. Now, our next horse and rider to work out is Jennifer Emanuel. Cannibal Creek William is the name of the horse. Cannibal Creek William is an Australian stock horse, heritage bred. Horse is about 9 years of age. Jennifer, with a question mark of 62, from Lardner in Victoria. She's a farmer and Australian stock horse breeder. How many times has she been competing at Melbourne Show? She's lost count, but she does think that she was here for the first time about 1974. It was an interesting story with Jennifer. She's been competing here in the Garryowen on about 6 occasions and returned last year after a 31-year break. So it proves one thing, age is no barrier. Previously been involved in hacks in the 70s and 80s. Commenced breeding Australian stock horses in 2005. So it's got an incredible record in camp drafting. Actually, I can see why she's got the question mark at 62. She's actually 4 weeks away, doing my maths here, on your birthday. Short of her 62nd birthday. Just having a little look down the bottom here. My body is full of arthritis and it's a tad painful to continue riding at this level. Now, that's an interesting point. Sorry to interrupt you two over here. 62 years of age. She said her body is racked with arthritis and it's a tad painful riding at this age. I mean, that's just great to see someone at 62 years of age still out there and enjoying, forgetting about the pain that you go through. I think we all go through pain regardless of what sport we're involved in. But I just think that's a great story.
I actually think it's incredible, and like I'm in awe of her because I'm not 62 and I have pain when I ride. So she's doing an awesome job. I mean, we all with the horses like have injuries. I've broken a back, and Sarah's broken a neck, and fractured her skull. Sorry, and we just same area, but just. Horsewomen just get up and keep going with it, I think. Pop a tablet and get on with it.
Well, it's interesting there just to notice the reaction of the crowd there, giving her a wonderful round of applause for our oldest competitor here in the Garryowen this year, just a few weeks away from her 62nd birthday. Congratulations, good luck to Jennifer Emanuel aboard Cannibal Creek William. Well, our next competitor is Lillian McEvoy from Essendon here in Victoria. She's a 19-year-old student, and the horse she's riding here is Pandemonium, an 8-year-old warm blood. This young lady has been here competing at Melbourne for some 12 years and has been in the Garryowen on one other occasion. This fellow here is an incredible story about this fellow and how they came about getting him, Pandemonium, and they actually got him from the Mosman Sale Yards. He's a borrowed horse by the look of things here. Now known as Alfie. And another young lady who is combining her studies. I think she's studying agricultural science at Melbourne University. So being able to combine her studies and her love of riding is a big effort. Lillian McEvoy, the horse Pandemonium. All right, we're down to Casey in a few moments' time to catch up with Lillian, but our next rider to join us is Heidi Potock, and Heidi is riding here DP Amazing. So we wish Heidi the best of luck with DP Amazing. Meanwhile, let's go down to ground level. Here's Case with Lillian McEvoy.
Well, I always love interviewing these girls because they've got such wonderful personalities and it really reflects coming out of a Garryowen. And as you can see, she's all smiles. Everything didn't really go according to plan out there for you, Lillian, but take away a positive attitude.
Yeah, that's all I can do, I suppose. Horses, and we're humans, so things can happen, I guess. But yeah, the Garryowen's a special event, so I'm glad that I can compete in it this year.
It is relatively difficult too to keep your horse's concentration going. Melbourne Show is a hard event for anyone. We've got a Ferris wheel in the background, lots of noise. How did you pull back and relax this bloke?
Just try to stay relaxed myself, and then he'll stay relaxed. Sue and Sarah Stafford are lovely to lend him to me because he's a beautiful horse and he's very chilled himself, so that's good.
Now, you guys always have a strong family team out there behind you. I'm sure it's no different this year. They'll be in the grandstands watching somewhere. What time did it all start for you this morning?
Not too early. We got here at 6:45 and saddled up and had a 10-15 minute ride on Alfie, and then because I was in the last heat, we just started getting ready. But last night there was a lot of saddle soaping and getting the bridle together and costume trying on and boots fitting. So yeah, it was busy.
I have heard Sarah Love in the past say when she's been up there in terms of the boots that sometimes because you might have borrowed the boots or they get quite difficult to get off. Is that the scenario?
Yes, that is a scenario. Actually, last year I had borrowed a pair of boots and they actually never fitted before the event, but my mother thought they would fit, so we just hoped they would, and got into the event and passed out because they were too tight. So I've been there, done that.
Well, it's a good little laugh to end my interviews for this morning. We'll be very shortly. We've got a few more competitors to go, Rob, but back up to you.
Well, that's interesting. I've never passed out with my boots too tight. But commonly known in the equine world as dead leg.
Absolutely. I remember one year I just had a child and I put my boots on. I thought, tad tight. And within half an hour, my children were actually standing on my leg and kicking it, and I could not feel a thing. Went out, rode, placed, they pulled my leg off, and then I screamed, I think, for the next 20 minutes while the feeling came back.
It's the price you pay for being successful, Doris. Well, awaiting our final competitor to join us for the Garryowen of 2015. 23-year-old Jemma Draper. Jemima is aboard by Alli Millions, a 10-year-old horse. He's a warm blood. And Jemima, we've seen here on many times at Royal Melbourne Show. We've seen her on 4 other occasions in her quest to try and win the Garryowen. She's been involved in just about all the disciplines of the equine world: show jumping, eventing and dressage. She was placed 5th back in 2012 on by Alli Millions. So the same combination joins us again here in 2015. I love reading these. What is your horse's background? By Alli Millions loves pina coladas and long walks on the beach. Also, the measuring bay, where terrors, they are, I'm trying to understand it right. It's Timmy's territory. Oh, okay. I think he might be terrified. Yeah, okay. Tim's the measurer by the look of things. Likes carrots, and Glenn, his farrier. A horse on the drink, loves pina coladas. I've never ever tried to give a horse a drink that way. A little bit different. They've been a wonderful combination for some 5 years or so, and she would really love to thank her family and their friends for their support, and her sponsors as well too, and above all, Mum. Jemma Draper by Alli Millions. Occupation of podiatrist. She comes from Rochester here in Victoria. Our final competitor in the 2015 Garryowen. Well, very shortly we'll be inviting our competitors back out onto the Herald Sun Arena and we'll begin our presentation ceremony. We look forward to having you staying with us on a glorious day here in Melbourne.
have it like.
Good morning, everyone. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to the 81st Garryowen Equestrienne Turnout presentation. My name is Rob Gaylard, and I have the pleasure of being your host for today's presentation. I'd like you to please join me in welcoming our official party to the presentation area. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Stephen Spargo, Royal Agricultural Society Victoria President. Sally Murrell-Rich, sponsor and grandniece of Violet Murrell. Also joining Sally is Marguerite Dorr, also sponsor and grandniece of Violet Murrell. Philippa Harcourt, supplier of our garlands, which have been absolutely sensational this year. Philippa, congratulations. You've done a wonderful job. And Deborah Pollitt, our Royal Agricultural Society Victoria board member. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our judges. Our riding judge, Lindy Sutton. Our confirmation judge, Rowan Luxmore. Our manners and paces judge, Jane Gardner. Our saddlery judge, Lisa Kellock. Our general appearance judge, Sally Lawrie. And our costume judge, Christine Mallinson. Also our stewards I'd like to welcome as well too, ladies and gentlemen, if you could show your appreciation. Mr. Peter Gardner. Irene Luxmore. Warren Warboys. Jason Ronald. Karen Fisher. Melinda Ralph and Di Warboys. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome the 37 competitors back onto the arena, and we're delighted to have them with us. And of course, our 10 first-year competitors competing for the very, very first time, and as usual, competition has been of an extremely high standard. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome our competitors back onto the Herald Sun Arena. Well, ladies and gentlemen, to begin today's presentation ceremony, please stand and welcome to the stage to sing the national anthem, Natasha York. Natasha has sung at many public events and recently performed, of course, at the Brisbane Cabaret Festival and the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. And this is Natasha's second Royal Melbourne show. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please make her feel very, very welcome.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains and let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a huge round of applause for Natasha. And let's also give a huge welcome to our competitors behind me. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please be seated. Competitors, members of the Murrell family, past winners, judges and stewards, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Royal Agricultural Society of Victoria, we welcome you to the 81st Garryowen Equestrienne Turnout. We are pleased to honour these fine riders who have competed in the Garryowen today. I'd like to make a special thank you to our event sponsors, firstly to the grandnieces of Violet Murrell in Sally Murrell-Rich, and also to Marguerite Dorr, and also Philippa Harcourt, Cedar Park Equine Products, Jason Roberts, and the Mitchell and Draper families. Thank you very much for your valued support. I'd like to acknowledge and thank our horse committee, guest commentators and past winners, and Sarah Love and Linda Hayes for joining me today. Of course, our former Hall of Fame inductees of the Garryowen as well too, and thank you all for joining us. Let's give them all a huge round of applause. The Garryowen is intrinsically linked with Victorian history, and it is also fantastic that the 81-year-old tradition has been upheld again here today. The story of Violet Murrell, the accomplished horse rider and jockey who was commonly known as the Queen of Racing, secures her place in history as a true ambassador for women in the equestrian and racing industries. This event was first held in 1934, following the tragic death of Violet Murrell, who courageously sought to save her three-time Royal Melbourne Show champion winning horse, Garryowen, from a stable fire. The Garryowen remains the most prestigious equestrian event in Victoria, and we congratulate all of our competitors today on their specific efforts. To begin with our presentations today, ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to invite all of the first-year competitors to step forward and receive a commemorative medallion presented by Marguerite Dorr. These medallions have been generously supported by the Mitchell and Draper families. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to invite Deborah Pollard to join us to announce the best first-year competitor of the Royal Melbourne Show's 81st Garryowen Equestrienne Turnout. Deborah, please join us.
All right, thank you very much. The best first year is horse number 570, SLM Mercedes, ridden by Samantha McMaster. Congratulations, Samantha.
Thank you very much, Deborah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's give our congratulations to Samantha, who is being assisted by steward Melinda Ralph and Deborah Pollard, who is going to make the presentation of that sash as well too. And we once again congratulate all our first-year competitors and, of course, our best first-year competitor. Of course, aboard her horse, SLM Mercedes, who has had a wonderful year on the show arena as well too. And Samantha, may I also just add, as a great ambassador for our off-the-track program with our thoroughbreds as well too. So Samantha, continue to keep going with her good work, and congratulations to you today of entering the history books as being, in 2015, the first winner of our first year. We'll move on to presenting the awards for this year's place getters. Deborah, I'd invite you to come back and join me again, and we will start. Yes, let's put our hands together for Sam. Well done. Deborah, I'll invite you to come back. And let's start from sixth and work our way forward.
Thank you very much. It is a beautiful day today for this event, and the horses all look stunning, as do the girls. It's nice to have some sunshine, no rain, and not too windy this year. But it was great pleasure I announce the sixth place winner, 1020 DP Amazing, ridden by Heidi Potock.
Can you leave that with me?
I can.
That's still I need.
You want that one? Do you want the...
No, just I'll invite you back in a minute.
All right,
I'll invite you back in a minute.
Okay, fifth place, 1140 OEH. Eloquence, ridden by Alexa Ward.
Just I'll invite you back, Deb.
Okay.
Just you go back for a second. All right, thank you, Deborah. Congratulations to our sixth place getter, of course, Heidi Potock, and our fifth place getter as well to a sash here by Lisa Kellock. To Alexandra, congratulations. And our saddlery judge assisted here by steward Jason Ronald. Let's see how we're travelling out the back here. Right, Deborah, time to invite you back as we count down to our fourth place getter. And our winner here will be sashed by Jane Gardner, and our manners and paces judge assisted by steward Di Warboys.
All right, fourth place, 1656 Entourage, ridden by Brioni Randall.
Congratulations, Bryony. And Entourage taking out fourth place here in the Garryowen of 2015. Thank you very much to Jane Gardner, our manners and paces judge, and also our steward in Di Warboys for assisting at this particular presentation. Bryony, well known to many of us, and been a regular competitor here at Royal Melbourne Shows, and now joins the ranks as a place getter again here at Royal Melbourne Show in the Garryowen. All right, time for us to move forward. Our third place getter, Deborah.
Thank you. Third place goes to 1927 SLM Orlando, ridden by Stephanie Barrington.
Congratulations, Steph. Steph is going to be sashed by Rowan Luxmore, our confirmation judge, and assisted by our steward here in Peter Gardner. Stephanie knows full well the thrill of being successful here at a Garryowen, and we congratulate her on her third placing here today aboard her horse SLM Orlando. Well, I'm not too sure what your choice was in the crowd, but we're starting to get to that part where it all becomes very interesting. Deborah, join us as we announce our second placing.
All right, second place, number 536, France, ridden by Alli Beric.
Alli, congratulations. Another one of our successes from, of course, the Garryowen. France this time is the mount for Alli Beric. Alli, congratulations. Second place in the Garryowen of 2015. This is the big moment. I'm going to invite you forward again. The 81st Garryowen Equestrienne Turnout of 2015. Please join us again, Deb, and share with us who is our winner.
All right, first place goes to number 347, Chosen One, ridden by Shae Hanger.
Well, judging by your response from the crowd, I think you all know. To win it once is an achievement. To win it twice is something quite remarkable. To win it 3 times, I think this young lady is going to be over the moon. It's customary each year with the Garryowen, the winning horse receives a beautiful floral garland, which today is being presented by Philippa Harcourt, who has sponsored the garlands throughout today. Philippa, thank you very much. And as soon as we crown our winner, I'll invite you and Melinda to escort our winning rider over here to us at the dais for the presentation of the Garryowen trophy, the winning sash, and of course the commemorative pin. You can go over to Auntie and get all sashed up and pegged up if you like, darling.
That was a better, no, that was a better workout than last year. It was fantastic. You know, like I wasn't supposed to ride.
Well, we're having a little bit of a family reunion out here at the moment, so we'll let the girls have a little bit of girl talk, a little bit of girl time. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's with great pleasure that I invite you to please join me in acknowledging all of our 2015 Garryowen equestrian competitors. But once again, before we bid farewell to the rest of our riders, our unplaced entrants, please keep your applause going for Deborah Pollitt, as we thank you, Deborah, for being with us here today as well. And finally, the big moment. We'll have to stop meeting like this, won't we? Come over here, little one. Congratulations, a little bit of history. Gee, you joined some incredible women out here that have won this event on 3 occasions. To name a few, I think Vicki Lawrie, Helen Heagney, and of course Caroline Wagner, just to name a few that have been down that road 3 times. I was just saying before, Shae, to win it once an achievement, twice is a little bit sort of, oh, hang on, I'm very, very lucky. 3 times, you've really entered the record books now.
Oh, it's just a shock. I think this one really will get to me with this one because I wasn't supposed to ride. I just had a massive operation and he's only been in work a month. He got him clipped and I've had the best people around me, all the girls that are just at my property. They've helped work him and I've only been riding for 2 weeks and I've been out for a couple of months. So this is the best.
Well, I think in one way, to be quite truthful, Shae, with all due respect, I think that shows the ability you have as a horsewoman to be able to come back and do what you've done today and to be able to achieve this remarkable award. In realistic terms, your horse today worked absolutely brilliant.
I know. He's an amazing horse. He loves the workouts, and he's a real show horse. He comes out, he works okay in the work arena. The minute he comes out here, he just loves it.
Well, he's a former thoroughbred. We spoke a little bit beforehand with my co-commentators up there before. An off-the-track horse who came from a racing background. Tony Noonan spotted him for you and said, Shae, I think I've got one for you. Well, he's a pretty good judge.
He will be absolutely ecstatic. His owners and Tony I all spoke to after the Garryowen, and I gave them all a photo of winning the Garryowen. So now they'll have to have another one in between all their races. So it's be fantastic. He'll be thrilled.
Well, Shae, congratulations to you, and I'm also pleased to let you know that you'll also be receiving a special commissioned portrait painted by Jason Roberts, of which you've had before, but you've got another one now to commemorate your win today, and along with all of today's place getters, you will also receive a special trophy ruggers courtesy from our sponsor, Cedar Lodge Equine Products, and a special gesture to this 81st Garryowen. Ladies and gentlemen, our winning rider will also receive a custom designed Marguerite door glass dining ware, proudly supported by Marguerite. Once again, our congratulations, and could I please ask you to head back to the winner's circle and mount up for a lap of honour. And as Shae is about to hop back on Chosen One in just a few moments' time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd invite you to give us a wonderful round of applause, not only for our winner, but also for our place getters in the 2015 Garryowen, as we celebrate a lap of honour. Probably crying somewhere in the crowd. Actually, she's more composed this year than she was last year and last time. Has she been quicker?
She had a...
The environment is not conducive.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Shae Hanger creates a little bit of history here today. The grandniece of Violet Murrell now going into the record books as a three-time winner of the most prestigious equestrian event in the Southern Hemisphere, the Garryowen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's Garryowen presentation. Once again, we sincerely thank you and thank our distinguished guests, judges, stewards, presenters, sponsors, and of course, all the competitors as well too. We trust that you've enjoyed the presentation. We look forward to returning again next year for the 82nd Garryowen Equestrienne Turnout at the Royal Melbourne Show in 2016. It's been my pleasure to be your host today, and once again thank you to my co-commentators up there in the box. From us now, goodbye and enjoy the rest of your day here at Royal Melbourne Show.